Hi everyone, welcome to Restart. I'm recording this video before Christmas, hence the fact that the Christmas tree's still up and all the presents are there. I wanted to get this one recorded so that I could launch it on the 1st of January. So if you're joining me on the 1st of January, welcome. We're going to do 31 consecutive days of yoga. Now, I said that this has got to be okay for everyone to do. So certainly the first week and definitely this session is going to be very, very introductory. If you've never done yoga before, or if you haven't done yoga for a while, you're coming back, then this will be absolutely fine for you. These classes will be a mini version of my longer 1 hour classes that I do online, and hopefully in 2021 we'll be doing face-to-face as well. So if you'd like to join me down on the mat, we'll make a start if you haven't got a mat on the carpet or whatever, and we'll do a nice gentle warm-up. Then I'll introduce you to some yoga poses that we'll be using over and over again during this program. So let's start today just taking a moment or two just to get yourself comfortable, to settle into whatever surroundings you're in, and just start to allow your body to soften and relax. And then in your own mind, just for your own benefit, just take a moment to think about your motivation for taking part in this practice, for taking part in this whole program, 31 days of yoga. Whatever that motivation is for you, it's completely valid. So let's start to gently bring some movement into the body. So wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. We'll circle your ankles, circle your wrists. Stretch your fingers out wide and point your toes. And then clench your hands into a fist. And pull your toes back up towards your shins. And then relax your hands and relax your feet. Slowly and gently turn your head from side to side. And then relax your neck. And just allow your head to rest on the mat. Bring your heels up towards your buttocks, with your knees and your ankles together, and extend your arms out to the sides. And take an inhale here. And as you exhale, lower your knees towards the ground on the left. Doesn't matter how far over they go. On your next inhale, come back to the centre, and then exhale over to the right. And on your next inhale, come back up to the centre. Lift your feet up off the ground and bring your knees in towards the chest. Hug your knees in. And then straighten the legs up. Take hold of your legs behind the back of the knees and straighten your legs as much as you can, pointing your toes up. And gently pull back on the legs. And then ease the tension off. Relax your ankles. And bend your knees. Let your feet come down to the ground. And turn onto your side. Push yourself up onto your hands and knees. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. Your knees underneath your hips. And allow your belly to sink down. Raise your chin up. Come into a pose called cow. And then arch your back. And bring your chin in. Come into a pose called cat. And relax your back down. Take your weight back onto your heels. Stretch forward with your fingers. And then bring your chest forward. Walk your hands in towards your knees. Come up to standing with your feet just about hip width apart. Hands at the sides of your body. And take an inhale, raise your arms up. And as you exhale, hinge forward from the hips. You can bend your knees here so that you can bring your chest in towards the thighs. I'll just turn to the side so you can see. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Bring your chest in so that you can relax your head down towards the ground. Obviously, if you can straighten your legs, then that's great. But if you straighten your legs and your body starts to come up, just bend the knees again. Take an inhale, raise your arms up. Bring your palms together. Gently take a back bend. And then reach up again, take an inhale. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, raise your arms up. And exhale, lower them down to the sides. And if you're on a mat, turn so you're facing the long side of the mat. Come out to a nice wide stance with your toes pointing forward. And turn your left foot out. Bend your left knee. You're aiming to get the knee over the top of the ankle. Turn your chest and shoulders round. Raise your hands up. Go into a pose called Warrior One. We hold the poses for between 5 and 10 breaths. And keeping your hands high now. Rotate your body round. Lower the arms down to shoulder height. And look out over your left hand. Pose called Warrior Two. And take your right hand, lower it down onto your thigh. Left hand palm up. And reach up. And reach back. And lower your left arm forward, bend at the elbow, bring the forearm down onto the thigh, and take your right hand and reach over. This pose is called side angle. And lower your right hand down and push up with the left. Turn your left foot in. If you're new to yoga or if you haven't done it for a while, you may notice that those poses are taking you forward or back and twisting you one way, twisting you the other way. We do this a lot in yoga, and you'll soon get used to that we do things that stretch you one way, stretch you the other way, twist you one way, twist the other way, work one side of a muscle, work the other side. So we're going to do all of that again now over on the right hand side. So if you turn your right foot out, bend your right knee, and turn the chest, the shoulders round, and raise your hands up. Come into warrior one. Rotate your body round. Lower the arms down to shoulder height. Taking your gaze out over your right hand. Warrior two. And lower your left hand down. Raise your right hand up. And reach up. And back. This pose is called reverse warrior. And bring your right arm forward, bend at the elbow, lower it down onto your thigh, and raise your left hand up and reach over to side angle. And lower your left hand down and push up. Bring your toe to point forward. Walk your feet in. I don't know if you can hear in the background the sound of my wife. She's on a video call at the moment for a Christmas do. So it might get quite noisy. If you stick with me for the 31 days, you'll get used to her in the background all the way through lots of these videos. So just thought I'd mention it. We're going to come down to the ground. I'm going to show you this pose before we go down, if you are new to yoga, so that you can see what it looks like before we go. This pose is called downward facing dog, and we'll use it practically every lesson. To come to downward facing dog, it's best to start on your hands and knees. Walk your hands forward slightly, spread your fingers out, curl your toes under. And then all we're going to do is straighten the legs, push the backside up in the air. We're going to try to avoid coming up onto the tiptoes. I'm going to try and bring the head in between the arms. So that's downward facing dog. We're going to use it in this sequence. So if you come up to the front of your mat, feet about hip width apart again, and the feet stay hip width apart when we step back. Imagine you've got a line moving down your mat, and you step back along that line so the hips stay at hip width apart. So we're going to step back on the right foot, onto the ball of the foot, raise your hands up. Go into high lunge. And lower the hands down to the ground. Step back with your left foot. And push up to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're going to bring the chest forward. Come into plank, and if you need to, you can just put your knees down here. That's absolutely fine. And then lower your chest down to the mat. Put your feet onto the insteps. And push down into the ground, bringing your chin and your chest up. Doesn't matter how far up you get your chin and chest. And then take your weight back to your heels. Bring your chest forward and walk your hands in. And come back up to the front of the mat again. So now we're going to do all of that again on the other side. So step back on the left foot onto the ball of the foot. And raise your hands up. Come into high lunge. And lower your hands down. Step back with your right foot. Push your hips up to downward facing dog. And bring your chest forward to plank. Remember, knees down if you need to. And lower your chest down to the mat. Feet onto the insteps. And push up to cobra. And then take your weight back onto your heels. And stretch forward with your hands. Bring your chest forward. Walk your hands in towards your knees. And then come to seated with your feet cross-legged. I'm going to take the left hand over onto the right knee. Take your right hand, either place it at the side of you or behind your back. And twist to look back over your right shoulder. Relax to come forward. Take the right hand over onto the left knee, left hand behind the back. Twist to look back over your left shoulder. And relax to come forward. Take your right hand down onto the ground, then your left hand palm up, and reach up, and reach over. And reach up, and lower down. Left hand to the mat, right hand palm up. Reach up and reach over. Raise the hand up and lower down. And just bring your hands to your knees, nice straight spine. In many of the classes, we'll end the class laid on the mat, doing some relaxation. But for now, I just want you to relax at the end of this class without being laid on your back, trying to look at the screen. So if you just have a nice straight spine, if you imagine that you've got a thread coming out of the crown of your head and you're being pulled up by that thread. If you're comfortable with this, you can close your eyes. If not, just take your gaze down to the ground about 1 meter in front of you. And take your awareness, by awareness I just mean your mental focus, take your awareness up to the top of your head. And scan down through your body, relaxing the different parts of your body as you go down. So relaxing the face and the neck, the shoulders and the arms, the hands. Relax the chest and back. Relax the stomach and the lower back, and the hips and pelvis. Relax the upper legs, the knees and the calves. And relax the ankles and feet and toes. And then just for a few breaths, notice where you can feel your body moving as the breath comes in and goes out. And take a deep breath in and out. And if you've had your eyes closed, gently open them now. Namaste. So that's our first one, the first day of 31. If you've enjoyed that, I'm going to put some things up on the screen in a second that'll link you to other YouTube videos. If you enjoyed that bit of relaxation at the end, there'll be some links coming up to mindfulness videos as well. Apart from that, I'll see you again for day 2.